Karen with Yes Please PaperCrafts, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a scrapbook layout. This is my third layout in the series RTS Scrapbooking, the summer round of the 4for4 series. And if you have not seen Janet's videos, I'll leave links in the description below to Janet's channel, also to my first 3 videos that I did for this series. Now I'm picking my papers here. I'm using the instructions that I got from the Facebook group Love RTS, and it tells you which papers to pull, which sizes, and I'm using a 7 by 12 in pattern number 3, 1.5 by 12 strips, 2 of those from pattern number 1, and then a 1/2 inch by 12 inch strip from paper number 4. And I'm just trying out these different backgrounds. I had that pink background and then this wood grain background, but I didn't really like how that looked on there, so I'm going to be using a white cardstock here for my background. So I actually ended up not using that blue strip of paper. I wanted to put something on either side of that floral pattern paper, so I'm going to be using some washi tape, and I'm just going through my washi tape, and I'm also going to look through what else I have in this scrapbook kit, and just kind of refresh my memory on what I'm working with here, because it's been a couple weeks since I made my last layout. I'm going to start off here by looking through my pictures, and these pictures are quite old because my nephew looks like he's about 3 in the pictures, and now he's a teenager, so he's in high school. And but these pictures are so cute, and I just love the really vibrant colors, the blues, and then those floaties that are yellow and green. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to pick out 3 pictures of my niece and my nephew in the pool, and at this point I wasn't really sure how I was going to put these pictures on the layout or where the papers were going to go or anything, so I just wanted to try to eliminate some of the pictures and just focus on a few of them because they're all very similar pictures. So one of the things I like to do before I figure out where my pictures are going to go is to find a title or something to use as a title. And I pulled out this Photo Play Summer Daydreams, I think is the name of the collection, and just was kind of looking through it to try to see if there was anything that I could use as my title. And I think it makes it easier to figure out the placement of the pictures, the size of the pictures, and kind of how you're going to lay this out if you kind of know what the title is. And so I did decide that I was going to make the title be Fun in the Pool or At the Pool. And I was going to use those little square pink letters that were from that Photo Play collection. And I changed my mind later because I was going to put it on top of that pink floral, and I thought the pink was, it kind of blended in too much. So, okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm trying to figure out how am I going to use the papers and how I'm going to place my photos. And that's when I decided I wasn't going to use that 1/2 inch blue piece of paper, but instead I'm going to be using this polka dotted washi tape. And I really love this washi tape, but if I put it on top of that paper, you couldn't really see it very well, so I went ahead and put the washi tape on some white cardstock, and then I'm going to cut that down so that I have this border strip that I can use, and I made 2 of those. And I'm going to be using that on either side of the layout. Now here's where I decided I wanted to try to do something else with this abstract geometric pattern paper, because I wasn't really liking how that was looking. I didn't really want to show much of it, but I thought about maybe using a border punch. So I brought out this border punch, and I'm going to be punching a border on both of those paper strips. And yeah, and you're not going to be able to see much of that paper, but I thought that really added a cute touch to this layout. It kind of almost makes it look like lace on either side. One of the things I like about doing this 4for4 series is that you cut your papers in the very first step, and then when you're working on each layout, you're limited to just a couple of pieces of paper to work with, and so it makes you kind of come up with designs that you probably wouldn't have if you were just using paper that any way that you wanted. Like you could pick any paper and any size paper that you wanted. And so I'm just kind of playing around with the placement of the pictures. I kind of thought about putting the pictures this way, but I couldn't make it work because I had those 3 4x6 pictures, and I didn't really feel there was a good way to cut them to be any smaller. So I'm kind of playing around with the placement of the pictures here, and you're going to see me flip it back around the other way, because nothing that I was doing was really kind of jumping out at me saying, hey, put me this way. I kind of tried a bunch of different things, just moving stuff around. Now I decided I was going to go ahead and attach this washi tape strip to the borders that I made. And I don't really want to show much of that abstract geometric print. So I'm going to tuck that underneath that floral print. So I'm just going to go ahead and attach that washi tape to either side. I think a lot of times when I'm working on a layout and I get stuck, I just think, well, I'll just move on to something else. So I thought, well, I'll just work on this border strips and get that kind of situated, and then I will figure out, how I'm going to place my pictures on the layout. And I did go through and I looked at some ephemera, and I'm just trying to figure out, like, what letters I'm going to use for my title. That kind of helps me sometimes in figuring out the placement of my pictures. If I can kind of figure out what I'm going to be using in the clusters, or if I can pull out some larger elements, it kind of helps to figure out where I should place my picture. So I found this little saying that was on that photo play collection. It was on one of the 12 by 12 sticker sheets, and it says, happiness is floating in pool water in the hot sun, or under the hot sun. So I thought that was a really cute saying and very appropriate for this layout. I also decided to bring in that little tag with the two little fishies on it, and now I am working on my title. I had gotten these puffy stickers from AliExpress, and it was a set of stickers. It came with 2 sheets of each color, and I think there was green, pink, orange, and blue. And at first I thought I was going to use these green letters, and I was going to pull in this little pink square stickers there from that sticker sheet. But later I go back and I change it. I thought maybe the blue ones would work better, and so I'm going to go back and put those back onto the sticker sheet, and I'm going to pull off the words fun and the words pool from the blue stickers. And I thought that was much cuter. And after I figured out where I was going to place this title, I did end up going back and changing the pink stickers for some yellow ones, I think. I think it was yellow. It might have been orange. It might have been orange stickers that I used. I think a lot of time, once you figure out what your title is going to be, and you pull that out, that you can figure out the placement of your photos. At least it helps me quite a bit. So I'm going to go ahead. I decided I was going to put my title at the top of the layout, and so I decided I wanted to cut these pictures down a little bit more, because I didn't really give me enough room. And also, I didn't really like how much of that dark green color from the trees you could see. And so by cutting that down, it actually eliminated a lot of the green color. I also kind of cut the photo, the one at the bottom there, the close-up. I cut some off the side and made that one smaller, and I decided that instead of putting 3 in a row, I would have the 2 top photos together, matted together on one piece of white cardstock, and then that little close-up photo matted separately. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and use these We Are Memory Keepers layering guides, and I love these layering guides, and I use them almost every single time I do a layout, and so you're going to see that in a lot of my videos. They are the most awesome tools in my craft room. One of my favorite things to use on a layout, because it really does help to get a very even mat around the entire picture, and I just love using them. And so you can see how easy it is to actually get a even mat. And it's easily fixable. If you have anything that looks off, you can trim very small amounts off. So now I'm going to go ahead and put these 2 pictures on there, and I'm going to be matting these together. So I needed them to be the same size, and I realized that this picture was slightly bigger than the other one, so I'm just going to trim that down. And I thought that was kind of a cool effect to layer these together kind of on the same mat, and then have the close-up picture be separate, on a separate mat. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish creating the mat, and I'm using the 1/8 inch layering guide. These layering guides from Me Are Memory Keepers, it comes in, I think it's 6 different sizes, or maybe it's more. It's like I think it's 4 sizes per ruler, and there's 3 rulers, so I think maybe it's 12 sizes. I usually typically use the ones though that are 1/8 inch and 1/16 inch. I very rarely use the bigger ones. I do occasionally do, but most of the time I use the 1/8 inch and 1/16 of an inch. Okay, so I'm now going to start gluing everything down, and I think this layout's turning out much better than I was expecting, because when I started I was kind of struggling a little bit about the placement of the pictures, and I didn't really like those abstract geometric, just as those strips. It didn't, I don't know, it just didn't look right with that colorful floral background that I had. So here's where I decided that I didn't want to use these pink letter stickers because it blended too much into that floral pattern paper. And I'm going to bring out my sticker book. This is a happy planner that I have. And I have my letter stickers, or my alphas, kind of sorted by color. And I just have each one of these sticker sheets. I just took in my ATG gun, added some adhesive to the back of these sticker sheets, and then stuck them into this book. And then I can go through and kind of like look through it and find stickers that I want to use. So I pulled out these orange stickers, and these are from Jelly Bean Soup. And I think that is actually a better color combination, and it's going to stand out much better on that floral background. Now, I did want to pull in some twine for my tag, and the papers that I'm using are very busy, and I didn't really want to use any of that twine that was kind of more like a stripe. I wanted to pull in something that was more solid, and so I found this pack of ribbon. I think that came in a Spellbinders card making kit, and I love those Spellbinders card making kits. They have a lot of cool things in there, and one of the things that's usually in there is ribbon. And in this particular kit, they had white twine in there as well. And so I thought that would look really cute with this tag, and I think it fit the style of the layout. So I'm going to just add some of that white twine. So I'm going to go ahead and add my title to the top of the layout here. And it was really interesting to me because they had kind of like lines on this paper. So it was super easy to just put the letters down on one of those lines in the actual pattern paper, and made it really easy to kind of like line that up. I didn't have to worry too much about it. I do kind of move it around later just to kind of change the spacing of it, but I thought that turned out really cute. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down to my background. I think it's kind of funny that when you start off with a layout, and as you're creating it, the paper and the photos, it kind of dictates how the layout's actually going to come out. So layout is not coming out anything like what I imagined in my head when I started. So actually it's coming out way better than I first thought it was going to. So I'm adding some foam tape to the back of that picture, and later I'm going to take it off. So I'm also going to be adding some foam tape to the top of this tag, and I added foam tape to that little saying, and that's why I needed to take the foam tape off the picture, because if I would have, I wanted to put that saying on top of the picture, and that wasn't working out. And then the funny thing is, like, later I actually ended up not putting that little saying on top of the picture, but anyway, I took the foam tape off, and this foam tape is the Scotch foam tape, and if you don't press down on it really hard, you can actually get it off of things without ripping the paper too badly. So I'm going to be taking that off, and I'm trying to figure out here which side I wanted that little saying on, and I thought I'd put it on the right and create a cluster on that side. So I'm looking at the sticker sheet from the Photo Play collection and some of the other sticker sheets and embellishments that I had in my kit, trying to figure out what could I use as my embellishments to kind of put on this layout. And so the first thing I pulled was that yellow sunshine, and that came from a really old sticker sheet. I must have had that for a really long time. I think it came from the Dollar Tree, and it was Miss Elizabeth. And I don't know if y'all remember, but Dollar Tree a long, long time ago used to sell that brand, Miss Elizabeth. And so that's, yeah, that's been in my stash for a really long time. So I was really happy to actually use something off that sticker sheet. So I'm also going to be looking through these little sticker books. This came from Michael's, and it's a recollection sticker book. And I did find a couple of things here. I pulled out that little pool lounger I thought that was really cute. And I also pulled in some flip-flops, I think, and a little circle that said, had some kind of a summer saying. I can't read what it says. Oh yeah, I pulled out those little bathing suits, and I think I ended up only using the orange one. I'll put the green one back later, but I'm just going through and flipping through these sticker books and looking for things that I can use in my layout. Sometimes it seems like when you have these stickers and other embellishments and they're floating on the layout, that kind of bothers me. So I'm looking for something in the sticker sheet that I can use as a grounding element to kind of make this cluster kind of cohesive and kind of together. And I did think about going and looking for some kind of a label or a tag or a rectangle or something big that I could put there. But I'm just going to keep looking through this sticker book, and eventually I did go back to the photo play sticker sheet and find a palm tree that's going to work as an anchor to kind of ground all of these little pieces together and make it look like it's one scene or one embellishment cluster. And I tried using that label, but I didn't think the colors really went with the layout. Now, this book is also from Michaels in its Recollections sticker book, and it's tropical. And yeah, I think those books are really cute. And there's tons of stickers in there. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and look at this photo play sticker set to try to see if I can figure out if there's something on there I can use. I was thinking that's where I found the palm tree, but that's actually not the sticker sheet that I actually got the palm tree from. But these are the different papers and the cut aparts, and so I was looking through that and trying to see if there was anything there I could use. And no, I didn't find anything. But I did pull out another 12 by 12 sticker sheet that is from Echo Park's Summer Party Collection. And I looked at this one. I thought about using that sandcastle, but then I ended up pulling off this palm tree. It took me a little bit of time to get that off without ripping it because there was pieces of that palm tree that were very thin. But once I put that down on there, I thought that was so cute, and it just kind of created this scene that made that cluster really work. And yeah, I really love the way that that turned out with the little flip-flops and the little bathing trunks and that little saying there that says happiness is floating in the pool water. And I kind of made the palm tree overlap that little sign a little bit. And then I also found some little fish stickers on that 12 by 12 sticker sheet from Echo Park as well. And I decided that I would go ahead and put those on. I put 3 on the right side and then 1 on the left side. And because the tag had 2 fishes on it, I thought that kind of gave a balance because there was 3 fish on either side of the layout. And okay, so this layout is getting pretty close to finished, and I'm just going to start gluing down the picture and the tag and just getting these things attached to the layout. And I just really like adding foam tape, and so I decided that I would add some foam tape behind the little lounge chair to kind of make that pop up and kind of separate it a little bit from the swimming trunks and the little flip-flops. And I wish I would have put those flip-flops on there. Maybe I'll go back and add them because I really thought they were cute down there at the bottom by that lounge chair. So I don't know why I took those off. Okay, so now I'm going to be getting some enamel dots out. And enamel dots is one of my most favorite things to add to a layout. I think it just adds such a bright pop of color to a layout. And here I'm using a bright yellow, a lime green, and an orange. And I'm just going to scatter those enamel dots across my layout. And you saw that I had those acrylic drawers. I have a set of acrylic drawers, and I have my enamel dots separated out by color. And I just really love having them like that because it makes it super easy to just kind of sift through the different enamel dots I have and find a color that matches my layout. So I just love using enamel dots in a layout, so it makes it really cute. So that's going to finish off my layout. I'm just going to be gluing down this string. I like to glue down my twine or my string when I have a tag like that because If I don't, a lot of times that string flops around and ends up covering something you don't want it to cover up. So I always do like to glue that string down. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of arrange that string the way I want it and get it glued down. So I decided that I was just going to adjust the spacing of my title a little bit, and I just moved it a little bit closer together, and I thought it looked much better that way. So I have some close-ups of this layout. I did take pictures and added them to the end of this video, so stick around for that. And if you like this scrapbook process video, please give it a like. If you would like to see more videos, please subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.